You know that feeling when something just doesn't sit right with you? Like your instincts are screaming at you, but your brain keeps trying to rationalize it? Yeah, that's been me for the past few months. At first, it was just a faint whiff of perfume. On him. My husband, Austin. He never used sweet-smelling cologne. And that day, he reeked of something floral and sweet, not his usual after-work scent of coffee and stress. When I asked about it, he laughed it off, said some woman in his office was testing perfumes and wanted the whole department's opinion. You know how marketing people are, he said with that charming, disarming smile. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But the smell clung to his shirt in a way that didn't feel like a casual spritz in passing. No, that scent lingered like an unwelcome guest. The second incident was worse. I was cleaning up around the bedroom, just a regular Saturday afternoon, when I found a gift box tucked away in his closet. I wasn't snooping, I swear. It was just there, sitting on top of his work briefcase like it wanted to be discovered. Inside, a pair of gold earrings. Gorgeous, elegant, and way too expensive to be some random team gift, like he later claimed. A surprise for the head of marketing, he explained casually, not missing a beat. Everyone chipped in, and they asked me to buy it since I know the stores around here. I tried to smile and nod like that made perfect sense, but in my gut, alarms were blaring. And then came the travel. Suddenly, Austin's job required him to fly out more frequently. Long weekends, urgent meetings, always at a moment's notice. It felt like he was slipping away from me, like sand through my fingers. At first, I tried to brush it off as paranoia. I told myself that maybe work really was picking up, that maybe I was just being oversensitive. But deep down, I knew better. Something was wrong, very wrong. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not the kind of woman who just sits quietly while her life falls apart around her. Maybe it's my anxiety talking, or maybe it's just good old-fashioned survival instinct. But when I feel something's off, I need answers. Otherwise, the endless what-ifs will chew me up and spit me out like yesterday's leftovers. I tried distracting myself. Podcasts, articles, even that self-help nonsense about trusting your partner. Spoiler alert, it didn't help. When I wasn't chasing my kids around or pretending to care about my friend's drama with her Pilates instructor, my mind kept circling back to Austin, to those earrings, to that damn perfume. That's when it hit me. If I couldn't get the truth from Austin, I'd find someone who could. Enter John Bennett, private investigator extraordinaire, or as his business card said, discreet solutions for difficult situations. The man looked like every noir detective cliché come to life. Trench coat, weathered face, and a voice that sounded like it had been marinated in whiskey and regret. But hey, I wasn't here to judge appearances. So, John said, leaning back in his chair after I finished my rambling explanation, you think your husband's stepping out on you? Honestly? I don't know what to think anymore, I admitted, wringing my hands. I just need to know. I can't keep second-guessing every word he says. John nodded thoughtfully, scribbling something in his notebook. All right, here's how this works. I'll follow him, check his movements, see if there's anything shady going on. You'll get regular updates, and if there's dirt to be found, I'll find it. Sounds good, I replied, though my stomach churned at the thought of what he might uncover. For the next few weeks, John became my secret weapon. He'd text me cryptic updates like, observed him with a woman at the Olive Terrace. Likely subject, O. Reynolds. That name, O. Reynolds, sent a shiver down my spine. Olivia Reynolds, his ex-boss. Of course it had to be her. She was the type that men like Austin never fully let go of. Powerful, polished, and just manipulative enough to be dangerous. And the worst part? I should have seen it coming. He always spoke so highly of her. Olivia's brilliant, he'd say. She really helped me when I was starting out. I thought it was just admiration back then. Now I wasn't so sure. Then came the night John called me. Got something you'll want to hear, he said, his tone serious. Your husband and Olivia had dinner tonight. They were celebrating. Celebrating what? I asked, gripping the phone like it was a lifeline. Their 5-year anniversary, he replied. I froze. 5 years. 5 freaking years. My legs buckled, and I sank onto the couch as tears blurred my vision. I didn't know whether to scream or laugh at the sheer audacity of it all. 5 years of lies, 5 years of playing happy family while he carried on with her behind my back. But you know what? Tears weren't going to fix this. John and I met the next morning in his office. The room smelled faintly of stale coffee and dusty files, the perfect setting for the bomb he was about to drop on me. He slid a folder across the desk, thick with papers, photos, and a USB drive. Here's everything, he said. Photos, short video clips, and an audio recording from last night's dinner. I stared at the folder like it was radioactive. They celebrated 5 years of this? My voice cracked, caught between disbelief and fury. John nodded. I sat at the next table and recorded the conversation. Thought you might want to hear it? I hesitated for a moment before taking the USB drive and plugging it into my laptop. The first few seconds were filled with ambient restaurant noise, clinking glasses, low murmurs, a waiter announcing specials. Then I heard his voice. Austin. 5 years, Olivia. Can you believe it? He said, sounding way too comfortable, like he was happy. Olivia's laughter followed, light and carefree. Time flies when you're having fun, she teased. You've kept this going longer than most people would. Because of you, Austin replied. You've always been worth the risk. I clenched my teeth so hard it felt like my jaw would snap. Worth the risk? Risking what? Me? Our kids? And now you're free to spend more time with me, Olivia continued. All those trips we planned, finally within reach. Austin chuckled. Yeah, just a few more loose ends to tie up. I couldn't listen anymore. I slammed the laptop shut and shoved the USB drive back toward John. They're not just sneaking around, I muttered. They're planning a whole new life together. John nodded sympathetically. You've got every right to be angry. But you're also smart. You know rushing into anything could backfire. He was right, of course. No screaming matches, no dramatic confrontations just yet. I needed a plan that would hit Austin where it hurt the most. The rest of that day was a blur. I stayed home, pretending everything was normal. I folded laundry, made mac and cheese for the kids, and even smiled when Austin called to check in. His voice was smooth and casual, like he wasn't hiding a damn thing. Hey, hun, he said cheerfully. Just landed. How are things back home? Same old, I replied, gripping the phone tighter. You lying bastard. I miss you guys, he continued, laying it on thick. Tell the kids I'll call them later. Of course, I said, my voice sweet as sugar. I hung up and immediately went to the bathroom, where I stared at my reflection in the mirror. My face looked calm, but inside I was a storm, rage, pain, and betrayal swirling together. This wasn't going to break me. Oh no. If anything, it made me sharper. I started by checking our finances. It wasn't hard to log into his accounts. He'd once thought it was cute to share his passwords with me, back when trust meant something. And wouldn't you know it? There it was, a separate account, hidden from me all these years. He'd been stashing money away, probably for his future with Olivia. Well, not anymore. I moved quickly, screenshotting every bank statement, every wire transfer, every expense that looked remotely suspicious. This wasn't just personal anymore. It was legal, ammunition for what was coming next. By the following morning, I had an appointment with my lawyer, Anna, a no-nonsense woman with sharp eyes and sharper instincts. She listened to my story without interrupting, jotting down notes as I explained everything from the perfume to the secret account. We can build a strong case, she said finally. Infidelity, financial deceit, and you've got the recordings and evidence to prove it. We'll push for full custody and child support. And the house? I asked. If you want it, we'll fight for it, Anna confirmed. But I have to warn you, Austin might try to play dirty. Men like him usually do when they're cornered. Let him try. I wasn't scared anymore. I'll handle him, I said firmly. Before leaving Anna's office, I asked for one favor. Can we make sure the divorce papers are served at a specific time and place? Of course, she said with a knowing smile. Got something special in mind? Oh, you could say that. Austin thought he was flying off to another business trip. What he didn't know was that I had plans for this particular weekend rendezvous. When he and Olivia checked into their fancy hotel suite, they'd be receiving a little surprise package from me, a broken wedding ring, torn photos, and a letter explaining exactly how screwed he was. I could almost picture the look on his face when he opened it. Enjoy your weekend, sweetheart. It's the last one you'll have without consequences. Oh, and I almost forgot. Just for fun, I added a crisp $10 bill to the box, neatly tucked in alongside the ring and photos. Why? Because I'm petty like that. I even included a little note on top that read, "Here's some cash, babe. Better buy protection. Wouldn't want you to end up paying child support for a whole other set of kids, now would we?" Sometimes you just have to find humor in your own destruction, or at least in the destruction you're about to unleash. Austin didn't come home until late Sunday night. I didn't care. I had all weekend to prepare, and oh, did I prepare. First, I packed up his things, every last one of them. I left his suitcases on the front lawn like discarded furniture. Neighbors might have been watching, but honestly, let them. Next, I took the kids to my parents' place. No way was I letting them witness the war that was about to erupt. They deserved better than that. The screech of tires. A car door slammed. Heavy footsteps pounded up the driveway. Austin was home. I barely had time to catch my breath before he stormed through the door, his face twisted in fury. "What the hell is going on here?" he bellowed, his voice shaking the walls. "Where are the kids? Why the fuck are my things out on the damn lawn? Are you out of your mind, Emily? You want me to lose it on you?" He stomped further inside, eyes wild with rage. "You're such a goddamn hysteric, always making drama out of nothing." I didn't flinch. "Nice to see you too, Austin," I said, my voice calm despite the fire in my chest. His eyes landed on the box in his hand, the one I had so thoughtfully sent to his romantic getaway. Without warning, he hurled it across the room, the torn photos and the broken ring spilling onto the floor. "What the fuck is this?" he roared. "Are you serious with this bullshit? Sending some fucking embarrassing stunt like this while I was on a business trip? Business, Emily. I was with colleagues and partners, and then this shit shows up. What were you trying to prove?" I crossed my arms, unfazed by his performance. "Business, huh?" I said slowly, letting the sarcasm drip from my words. "Must have been a real important meeting with Olivia Reynolds. What were you celebrating? 5 years of screwing each other behind my back?" He froze for a split second, but quickly recovered, forcing a cold, humorless laugh. "Oh, here we go," he sneered. "You're insane, you know that? You've been cooking up these twisted little fantasies in your head. Olivia and I are nothing but colleagues. She's a colleague of mine. She works for another corporation now, and we met on an important joint project. Do you hear me? Nothing." "Sure," I shot back, stepping forward. "So you didn't spend last weekend whining and dining her in a suite at the Skyline Hotel?" His eyes darted to the side for a moment, then back to me. "You've lost your fucking mind," he spat. "You're delusional. I should have seen this coming, always overthinking everything like a paranoid lunatic." "Don't worry," I replied with an icy smile. "The court can decide whose version of reality is closer to the truth." His face darkened instantly. He took a step closer, lowering his voice to a dangerous whisper. "Oh, so it's divorce you want? You really think you're gonna walk out of this clean? I'll take you for everything. You'll be broke. You'll lose the house, the kids. Hell, you won't have 2 cents when I'm done with you." I felt tears welling up despite myself. I hated that he could still get under my skin like this, but his cruelty only sharpened in response. "Are those fake tears supposed to make me feel guilty?" he hissed. "Save it. You're pathetic. Go cry to someone who gives a damn." I took a shaky breath, steadying myself. His words stung, sure, but he didn't know what I had waiting for him. "Oh, Austin," I said softly. "You really ran your mouth tonight, didn't you? Too bad I caught every word of it." His eyes narrowed. "What the hell are you talking about?" I turned my gaze to the corner of the room, where the small hidden camera blinked silently. His head snapped around, and for the first time all night, I saw true fear in his eyes. "That's right," I said with quiet satisfaction. "Smile for the camera, darling. It's all recorded, and it's going straight to my lawyer." He stood frozen, his mouth opening and closing as he struggled to form words. But I didn't give him a chance to respond. I turned on my heel, grabbed my purse, and bolted out the front door. The cool night air hit my face like a slap, grounding me. I climbed into my car, started the engine, and drove off without looking back. The house disappeared in the rearview mirror, but his stunned expression stayed with me. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. Monday morning, I finalized the details with my lawyer, Anna. The divorce papers would be served to Austin at work, right in the middle of the day. Nothing says your life is falling apart quite like getting served legal documents in front of your coworkers. "Oh, don't worry," Anna assured me with a sly smile. "It'll be discreet enough to avoid a full-blown scene, but not discreet enough to stop the gossip mill." Good. Let him face some real consequences. If Austin thought he could keep this quiet and maintain his golden reputation at the office, he had another thing coming. A few days later, the wheels were fully in motion. By the time Austin was handed the papers at his desk, just as he was leading a meeting with senior management, word spread like wildfire. My phone buzzed constantly that afternoon with updates from Anna and mutual contacts. "Looks like you caused quite a stir," Anna texted with a winking emoji. Apparently, his boss wasn't thrilled about the distraction. I could only imagine Austin's face turning shades of red as he tried to downplay the situation. He probably claimed it was just a misunderstanding. That's his style. Lie until the truth smacks him in the face. That evening, I returned home to find Austin had already been there and gone. His things, what little he had left, were finally off the lawn. He hadn't left a note, but I didn't need one to know he was furious. Good. Let him stew. Later that night, my parents brought the kids back. They didn't know all the details yet, but Aaron, my oldest, seemed to pick up on the tension right away. "Is Dad coming home soon?" he asked, fidgeting with his hoodie strings. I knelt down beside him. "We'll talk about it soon, sweetheart. For now, I just want you to focus on school and having fun. Okay?" He nodded reluctantly, while Sophie hugged me tight. I forced myself to smile, to be the calm presence they needed, even though I was still boiling on the inside. Court day arrived faster than I expected. I walked into the courthouse with my head held high, dressed in a sleek black blazer that screamed, "I'm not to be messed with." Anna was right by my side, her presence steady and reassuring. We were ready. Austin, on the other hand? Not so much. He looked tense, fidgeting in his chair as his lawyer whispered hurried advice. Olivia wasn't there, of course. She wouldn't want her name dragged through the mud in front of a judge. Coward. As proceedings began, Anna took the lead, laying out our case with precision. We presented evidence of Austin's infidelity, financial deceit, and the emotional damage his actions had caused to me and the kids. Photos, bank records, even the audio recording of his anniversary dinner with Olivia, it was all laid bare for the court to see. Austin's lawyer tried to play it down, calling the evidence circumstantial and accusing me of being emotionally unstable. Typical. Blame the woman for being upset after 5 years of betrayal. But Anna wasn't having it. "My client's actions were not irrational," Anna countered firmly. "She protected her family's future when her husband jeopardized it through his lies and deceit." We asked that the court award her full custody of the children, spousal and child support, and ownership of the marital home. The judge listened intently, then shifted his gaze to Austin. "Do you have anything to say in your defense?" Austin stood, straightening his tie. Your Honor, I admit mistakes were made, but I'm not the villain here. I've been a good father. I've provided for my family. This is all just a misunderstanding blown out of proportion. I rolled my eyes so hard I thought they'd get stuck. A misunderstanding? Was he serious? The judge wasn't buying it either. The evidence before me suggests otherwise. I strongly advise you to take responsibility for your actions, especially the last video of your emotional conversation at home. Austin, you threatened your wife and behaved in an undignified manner. After several tense hours of back and forth, the ruling came down in my favor. I was granted full custody of the kids, Austin was ordered to pay both child and spousal support, and I was awarded the house. Austin's face was a mask of rage as he stormed out of the courtroom. He didn't even look at me as he left. Fine by me. The war was over, and he'd lost. In the following weeks, life began to settle. My parents helped with the kids, and my friends rallied around me. Aaron and Sophie adjusted faster than I'd expected. They saw through Austin's facade, and I didn't have to hide much from them anymore. Of course, Austin didn't take the loss lying down. He tried appealing the custody decision and even showed up at the house a few times, banging on the door and demanding to see the kids. But I had a restraining order in place. Every time he crossed the line, I documented it and reported it to Anna. One day, though, things escalated. Olivia, bold and smug, cornered me in a parking lot while I was picking up groceries. She leaned against my car with a condescending smirk. "Must be nice," she said, her voice dripping with venom. "Taking everything from Austin like that. You think you've won?" "Won?" I echoed, stepping closer. "Honey, if you think I wanted this mess, you're delusional. But you're right about one thing. I did win, and if you or Austin try anything, you'll regret it." Her smirk faltered, but she recovered quickly. "You can't scare me." "I don't have to," I replied coldly. "You'll bury yourselves just fine without my help." She backed off after that, though the threats didn't stop entirely. That's when my Uncle Frank, a former military officer, stepped in. He had a little chat with Austin. I don't know what was said, but after that, Austin stayed far away from me and the kids. Good riddance. I finally felt peace creeping into my life again. The kids and I took small trips to the beach, went hiking, and spent quiet evenings watching movies. I was rebuilding, stronger, wiser, and happier. And this time, I wasn't afraid of what came next.